Second. Hey, welcome to BSB TV. It always takes that little bit longer than I'm thinking to actually start going live. Today, I want to welcome Dr. Peter Ellis from Your Silent Partner. How are you going, Peter?
Pretty good there, Kevin.
Now, you must be really proud. I saw you with your cape and gown on, your little funny hat. What's the funny hat called?
It's called a bonnet. And it's very good. It's very important bonnet for doctors. They have an elastic band on that, and it's really important for doctors because when you become a doctor, your head swells. So
I was going to say, and that's to keep it all absolutely. So congratulations on that. Now, basically, you're actually helping people to understand the research that you went through over years and years and years while gaining your doctorate.
Absolutely, it's something that's really brand new. It's never been put together before, so I'm quite excited about it.
And in fact, you've got a couple of unique little definitions for the thing. Like so often we talk about, sole traders and micro businesses and then small businesses and medium businesses. And you've actually got some formulas around or some different ways of thinking about what a micro business is. And I got to say, when you started talking to me about here's my definition for a micro business, I went, oh my God, that's so easy when you put it like that. So what's your definition of a micro business?
Micro business essentially is a single income generator. That could be a tradie, it could be someone selling something, or it could be a dentist who has a receptionist and a nurse and an administrator and a hygienist. But if the dentist isn't there, there's no business.
So you could have a whole army supporting your business, but if you're the sole income generator, if you're the reason that people come to this business and the only reason that people come to this business, then you're still a micro business.
Absolutely.
Cool. That gives me a way better definition of that. So then what's a definition from a micro business to a small business? When do we become a small business?
That's a good point. To become a small business doesn't just sort of happen. The old definition is when you just have more sales or more staff, but that's not really the way it is. That's a consequence of what's going on. A small business, in my definition, is one where you have a number of income generators. But although you have a number of income generators, because it's a private sector business, the owner is still having to make very important decisions, which I call ad hoc decisions, as when the holidays are, how much are being paid, what the people are supposed to do, and so on.
It could even be about the future direction, what service offerings you got, and all that sort of stuff. We'll chat a little bit more about that. Now, you've identified 7 different phases of business. Now, I don't want to focus on these so much as the sticking points, because there's sometimes there's elements where we're desperate to move our business forward, but we feel like we just keep hammering away. And you're calling this a glass ceiling, where we keep hammering away but just can't get through. So with that, you've identified, as we said, the 7 elements, and really quickly there, when you are a micro business, you're coming out of micro, then you're moving into small, and that's your first glass ceiling we were talking about?
Correct.
Because and we'll get to exactly what is causing that frustration. Then you're moving into small. Once you've broken that glass ceiling, you successfully move into and become a small business. Then you decide, hey, I want more, and the business needs more. And so you're coming out of small, and then you're moving into becoming a true medium business. So what's the difference between a small and a medium business?
Massive. A small business is basically a bigger micro business with more income generators that the owner has to control and manage and learn how to work with people. And that's a very big problem, because the majority of business owners find it very difficult to work with people. I won't go into details. But medium-sized business is nothing like that whatsoever. Medium-sized business are departments where you have department managers, and the owner is no longer actually working on the tools, being a dentist, being an electrician, whatever. The owner is managing the managers. It's a completely different mindset, completely different set of skills. The structure, the process, everything in the business is different, and people don't appreciate that. They don't realize that's what it is, and that's what makes them stuck.
And in fact, you accidentally just went over those 5 key elements or aspects of a business that you need to take it from where it is to the next stage. And it's actually managing these. There's 2 levels to it. There's the personal level. So what's involved on the personal level?
Now, the personal level works like this. And at each stage, with any business, whatever size you're in is fine, because that's where you want to be. And if you want to be slightly larger, but you don't want to be a different size, but just slightly larger, you've still got to change. Now, the personal things are your mindset that you have to change to fit in with your focus of what you want to do. If you're a micro and you want to become bigger than that because it's not enough, you say, right, I'm going to networking places, I'm going to do some advertising, I'm going to do some flyers. You change your mindset, you change what you're doing. But that's as far as you want to go, which is fine.
And that's what we're saying. So there is no absolute need to be anything other than what you are today. But your course isn't for people who want to stay doing what they're doing. Your course is for people who want to grow and develop their business, right? So, as we said, on the personal level, there is the mindset side of it, which is going to change and needs to change to fulfill the vision that you have for the business.
Right.
And then the second thing on a personal level is what was the second thing?
The skills that are necessary to manage a business. And those skills change as your business changes. You don't just magically do things. You actually have to know what those changes are. And those
absolutely. So it's about clearly identifying what your vision is and understanding both the mindset and the skills that you need to take you there, that you need within the business. Okay. So they may not be all personal skills required. Sometimes it's skills that you need to develop within the business. However, the skills that you're going to need to develop are going to be to manage that. We absolutely get that. Now, the 3 business needs that you have in association with these changes are what?
Okay. Well, as your business grows, if you're micro and you're just getting bigger, doesn't make any difference. That doesn't change. But once you want to become a small, you have to change the organization structure of your business. You can't just tell someone, oh, you look after what's going on, because it's not their business. They just don't get on with it. And that's
it. So it is absolutely a changing of the structure and having clearly identified structures to the business. What's the next part?
The next one are the processes and procedures. Now, when you're micro, you're doing it all yourself, so it doesn't matter. You know what they are and you get on with it. But when you get bigger, you have to change them, but they have to be standardized, because otherwise what happens is you work with one person, you do one thing, and someone else, you do something else, and people get upset because if you don't do that sort of thing, then there's conflict.
Well, absolutely, because the process and procedures have to facilitate the performance of the business, not the performance of individuals now. So I absolutely get that too. So the third thing that we need to look for is what?
Is the action plan or the culture of the business. Because if you don't have one, then the other people will put their culture in, and that's not necessarily how you want to do things. They may be strict, or they may be firm, or they may be lackadaisical. You want to put your mark on the business, and you do that by having an action activity, and everyone knows what they're supposed to do and when they're supposed to do it, and what's expected of them.
Absolutely. So those actions and that activity will create how things are done around here, which is ultimately what creates the culture of the business that the business owner can drive. And that's something that so often gets missed from business owners. So those 5 key elements that we need to look for as you're trying to move your business from one size into the next are the mindset that is going to be focused around the vision, the skills required to fulfill that vision. Then moving on to the business side of it, what structure is going to be the right structure to deliver on that? The process and procedures so that the greater business, or so that the business as a whole knows what it's meant to be doing, when and how, and then that action plan so that you can take some clear stuff. So they're the 5 key elements, which is absolutely fantastic. And it really is moving out of, moving from micro and deciding then to move into small and all that. At each one of those 7 phases, there's going to be a slightly different balance and focus between those 5 key elements.
Yes.
And you'll identify opportunities within those elements to start addressing the right thing. And that's exactly where you're coming from.
Absolutely. The biggest problem that people have is they get stuck in between sizes, and usually they don't even know they're stuck. They know there's a problem, they know it's not working, but they don't realize that there is a way to get out of it, and they just haven't got those skills, and that's why they come to me.
Absolutely. And here's the answer that, hey, doing more is not always the path to growth, right? No. Sometimes you've got to do different, but until you realize that that's why you're stuck, sometimes you do need to do more to grow your business, but at other times you just need to do different, and understanding the difference between those 2 patterns. So if you're looking to grow your business, I would recommend you have a chat with Peter about his plan, and it is all about breaking those glass ceilings. So have you got a little white paper on this or something like that, or a little a PDF, a cheat sheet or something?
Yes, I have. I have got something that I can send out to people.
So
I can send it to you to do that. Yeah,
absolutely. So what we'll do is,
I just generally send something.
And that's what we're going to encourage you to do. So we're going to encourage you to put it up on your business portal in businesssmallbusiness.com.au, and then have that as something that people can download and consume and have a read of that. Because, but if you want to have a chat with Peter, just put comments below throughout the day. And Peter will be more than happy to have a chat with you.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
Thanks very much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
And thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.